Good morning, Year 2. Welcome to our next English lesson. So today in English, the date is Thursday, the 25th of February, 2021, and the learning objective is plan different types of sentences. So please pause the video here to write the date and learning objective. Well done, Year 2. So first of all, I just wanted to say I was so impressed by your roll on the walls of the terrible beast. Your drawings were absolutely amazing. I've thoroughly enjoyed having a look at how creative you've been with those. And I loved your descriptive language to describe what the terrible beast looked like, or what he smelt like, or sounded like when you saw him on the loose. So thank you, Year 2, for all of the effort that you have put into that, and a huge well done to you. So of course, that's what we were doing in our learning yesterday, creating a roll on the wall for the terrible beast. Today, we are moving on to planning different types of sentences which we can use when we create our wanted poster to find the terrible beast tomorrow. Okay, so on your screen now, you can see an example of the template we're going to use for our end of week outcome. So as you can see here, it says missing. You might choose that you want the big letters wanted, or you might want to use this template in particular. So as you can see here, I've got a picture of the terrible beast, and of course you'll be able to add or draw another amazing picture of the terrible beast. And then underneath there is a description. So similar to what you were starting to think about yesterday, this description will be sharing some information on the terrible beast to help people find him. So we're going to look at the different types of sentences that we can use in our wanted poster. So we could use a statement, and a statement is a sentence that tells the reader something. So do you think you could pause the video here and think of a statement that you might use to tell the reader something about the terrible beast? Well done, Year 2. Great ideas. I'm going to share my idea with you now. The terrible beast can be quite clumsy. Okay, so this is a statement as I'm telling the reader something about the terrible beast. So the terrible beast can be quite clumsy, just like when he jumped into the steaming pot without realizing he would get trapped in there. You could also use a question. So a question is a sentence that asks something and it ends with a question mark. So please pause the video here to have a think about a question you might use in your wanted poster. I'm particularly thinking about the start of your wanted poster. What might you be asking the audience who see your poster? Well done, Year 2. I love your ideas. So I was thinking a question could be, have you seen the monster? And as you can see here in red, I just wanted to highlight that I've used a question mark at the end, and that's really important that we remember that punctuation to show that it is a question. So thinking about using statements and questions, I'd love you to pause the video here and just have a conversation around a couple more examples that you might like to use in your poster. Well done, Year 2. I'm really proud of you. Okay, so we're going to have a look at two different types now, which is exciting. So you might like to use a command, and a command is when you are telling someone to do something. So commands usually start with a verb. So very similar here to when writing instructions. So with this in mind, can you think of a command you might like to use in your poster? Please pause the video here. Brilliant, Year 2. So I was thinking at the end of the poster, when I'm asking for some help to find the terrible beast, I might say, take care of yourself. So take is the verb that I've chosen to start the command with. Okay. Another type of sentence that you might choose to use is an exclamation. Now, this is slightly different to just using exclamation marks, because exclamation marks can be used to really emphasize something, to show something is very high volume, or to show something with very strong emotion. So of course, or with great excitement. So of course we can use exclamation marks for those reasons. An exclamation sentence is slightly different. So an exclamation sentence shows a strong emotion and it ends with an exclamation mark. It must be introduced by a phrase, what or how. If you really want to be beginning your exclamation sentence with either what or how, and it should be followed by a subject and verb. So I'm going to share an example with you now, just to support you with your thinking. So, how disgusting of him to eat them. So I'm thinking about the animals here. So how disgusting of him to eat them. So the subject is him, okay? So the subject pronoun is him, which is the terrible beast. And the verb is eat. Okay, so it's ensuring I've got that information in there for it to be an exclamation sentence, okay? Whereas if I said, how exciting, with an exclamation mark, I would have used the exclamation mark correctly. However, it wouldn't be an exclamation sentence, because it needs to have a subject and a verb, okay? So a person or a thing and an action that they are doing. So it'd be great if you could pause the video here, you two, and have a discussion around an exclamation sentence you might like to use in your poster tomorrow. Well done, year two. Okay, I'm going to share with you a model of the description I'm thinking of using in my wanted poster for tomorrow. So this piece of text here will be written at the bottom of the wanted poster, or if you choose to use the words missing, so a missing poster. So this is what's going to go at the bottom here, adding a description of the animal who is missing, so the terrible beast. Okay, so I'm going to read it to you, and then we're going to have a think about finding a statement, a question, a command, and an exclamation, because I've been really thinking about how I can use different types of sentences in my wanted poster. Have you seen the terrible beast who escaped from being trapped inside a steaming pot? The terrible beast is extremely tall. He has green matted fur and fierce dark eyes. He likes to make a big pot of terrible soup with all sorts of unusual ingredients, such as animals. What a horrible monster he is! You will be able to hear his loud rumbling tummy because he is always hungry. You will also be able to smell his sweaty feet from far away. Help find the terrible beast. Call the police if you see him, but do not go near him. Okay, so year two, what I'd like you to do is pause the video here. You may choose to read the text again, and it'd be great to see if you can spot a statement. So a statement is telling the reader something, so perhaps thinking about the description of the terrible beast. A question, which of course will also have a question mark at the end. A command, so telling the reader to do something, and it will begin with a verb, so an action word, like when we're writing instructions. And an exclamation. Of course, you will see an exclamation mark at the end, but I want you to have a think about what is the subject and what is the verb in that exclamation sentence. Okay, so please pause the video here to spot those features in our modelled right. Well done, year two. Okay, so let's have a look together. So thinking about a statement. So a statement is telling the audience something. So the terrible beast is extremely tall. I'm sharing information on what the terrible beast looks like. So that's a statement. So would he has green matted fur and fierce dark eyes be a statement? Again, I'm telling the audience something about the terrible beast. So I'm just going to highlight one example there for you. Now thinking about a question. So of course, a question would have a question mark at the end, which I'm sure helped you spot this as well. So we are asking the audience something. And of course, because it's on a poster, they won't necessarily answer it, but it will get them thinking, have they seen this terrible beast? So giving you a bit of a clue there, I used a question at the start to introduce my description. Have you seen the terrible beast who escaped from being trapped inside a steaming pot? We've got the question mark at the end. The next type of sentence that you should have been spotting is a command. So a command is telling the audience to do something. And the command often starts with a verb, so an action word. So I'm just going to change the colour pen to green. And at the bottom here, I've used a command, help find the terrible beast. So the verb I have used at the start is help. I'm asking for somebody to help me find the terrible beast. So help find the terrible beast. And find is also a verb as well. There's another command I've used here. Call the police if you see him, but do not go near him. So call is the verb at the start of this command. Call the police. That is what I'm asking the audience to do if they see him. Now thinking about an exclamation, you might have spotted the exclamation mark with this one. So the exclamation sentence that I have used is what a horrible monster he is. So horrible monster is the subject, that is the thing. And is the verb, okay? So a verb of being. So what a horrible monster he is. So we have our subject, which is the horrible monster, and is, which is the verb. Okay, so hopefully that was useful to you to see it in context and how we can use those to support our writing when we move on to creating our poster tomorrow. So your activity for today, Year 2, is to, in preparation for creating your own wanted poster tomorrow, plan different types of sentences. So I've got a heading here. It'd be great if you could copy this heading into your English book. So a question. So underneath this heading, it'd be great to plan a question that you might like to use. You only need to plan one question. Similar for a statement, it'd be great to write the heading in your book, a statement. And use your roll on the wall writing from yesterday to help you write a sentence which is telling the reader something about the terrible beast. So it could be about what he looks like, how he behaves, how he might be feeling, or what to look out for. So again, you could just write one example here. Next, I'd like you to write the heading a command, and underneath write a command that you might like to use tomorrow. So with a command, you might be thinking about how can you close your wanted poster? So what might you be writing towards the end? Remember, it starts with a verb. It's something you are telling the audience to do. So for example, you might say, take care of yourself. Find the terrible beast. Call the police. Okay, so they're just a few examples that we've explored together. And then lastly, it'd be great to plan an exclamation. I'd really like you to think about making sure it's an exclamation sentence here. So making sure that you include a subject and a verb. So a person or thing and what they're doing. Remember, is also a verb. So you should have, at the end of the lesson, 4 different sentences, which you might like to use in your poster tomorrow. And I'd just like to share with you these next couple of slides as they might help you with planning your exclamation sentences. So an exclamation sentence starts with what or how. And here are some ideas of how you can develop your exclamation sentence. And here is a poster on exclamation marks. So I just wanted to be really clear on sharing the differences with you. So you might choose to pause the video on either of these slides to help you with your learning today. I'm really looking forward to seeing the different sentences that you plan to use in your writing tomorrow, as I know that you're doing an amazing job. So well done, Year 2. I'm really excited to see your writing.